at back here? About 5:30 on a Tuesday. My buddy Josh just dropped his Tundra off. Got a lot of kind of cool stuff to it. Got a roof rack and stuff on it, and the lights and the camper shell, and it's lifted. Some amp steps and some XD wheels. Or the KMCs. My bad. Maybe they're the same. I don't know. He ended up buying the Hooke bumpers off of like eBay or Amazon or something. Oh, dude, check that guy out. It's always scare the crap out of me when I see him out of the corner of my eye. I think it's like a giant black widow, but it's just a grasshopper. So I think that's what that is. Anyway, I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull this bumper and put a Raptor on it, which we're going to do the front too. Whatever. I think these are Hooke Off Road. You get them off like Amazon or eBay. They're actually not a bad bumper. They're probably 3/16 thick or so, or whatever that equal would be in metrics. I think they're like probably like some kind of a Chinese brand. They do have D-rings and stuff in them. They're kind of a cool looking bumper. This back one they kind of make flat, and on the rock, and the bedside kind of like rolls. So it's a little tight in here. He's not too worried about it. I don't think it's actually hitting the bed, but it is super tight. He hasn't really off-road this truck or beat on it really. Actually, it's really dirty, surprisingly. It fits pretty darn good. Like after he kind of shimmed and tweaked and did whatever he had to do, except for it doesn't fit right here. So basically, this needs to go. So what we want to do is we want to make this fender well here roll down into here. You know what I mean? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a couple templates out of like some construction paper. My plan is to kind of set something in there like so. What I'll do is I'll probably take a pen and draw that out. So what I'll do is I'll tape this really good. I don't want to scratch this fender, then I'll have to fix this fender. But what I could do is I could grind this down, and I can grind here. I could tack a piece, tack my piece on here, and then come back and cut this out once the bumper's off from the backside. I think that'll be easier. Just I don't want it to like throw sparks as much as I possibly can around the truck. Play with that, probably get out of here pretty soon, and then we'll be back at it in the morning. So
yeah, sometimes I get so mad there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like.
I gotta kind of clean this side up here and weld this up, grind it down. I'm gonna put just a little bit of filler over here. I'm gonna bindo it just a little bit, just to kind of smooth this out. I think that the bed liner would hide that, but just to make sure, I'm just gonna put some right here where I welded it, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, because I can. And yeah, that'll be it. I'll finish that side, then I'll flip it over and 80 grit the whole outside of it. We're not gonna worry too much about the inside. I'll probably do the faces of these here because you can actually see this goofy like e-coat, or I don't know what this is. It's almost like it's somewhere between a powder coat and a paint. It sands and grinds off way easier than powder coat that I've dealt with, but it's a lot harder than just regular paint. So somewhere in between, probably just a cheap style powder coat. Anyway, that's the plan on that. We'll see if we can get this bumper finished up and ready for some primer and then bed liner. So that's the plan.
Oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
The rear bumper, I pulled it off. I threw the. What we're gonna do is kind of look this thing over. I do want to weld this up. I've got rid of that little hook hole thingy in the front. Back tape. I just kind of back taped this a little bit just so I didn't get a bunch of overspray underneath. Not that it probably really matters. I just think it looks cleaner, so I wanted to kind of keep that theme. He's got a pretty nice truck. I'm gonna spray some etching primer on these. I think that'll be good enough for any of the bare metal and stuff. And over this filler, I don't think that I don't think we'd have any problem with the filler soaking up the bed liner, but I still like to get just a little bit of primer, kind of designed to stick to primer. I'm kind of debating on running a seam seal because I'm worried about the bed liner bridging across that. I don't know how well that would be. At least if I had some seam sealer stuck down there, I'd have a little more. It wouldn't just be an air gap there where the two panels come together and the bed liner was. I'd have some stuff down there so it kind of act like more like a wedge. Hopefully not. If if it bridges, hopefully it didn't peel back. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna read up on that. I'm pretty sure it's like ready to paint in 20 minutes or something. I have it sitting over next to the heat lamp, heating up. Anyway, these are all waxed and greased. I'm gonna mix up some bed liner, figure out from the seam seal is, and try to get it painted by 5. So wish me luck.
Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me.
Bed lines. I would say that. Actually, I hammered a little bit more in here because I figured you'd be stepping there. That's our seam right there. You could, if you get it just right, you can see it. Like I said, it's right about it bridging over, and then cracking. So this way we got more material down in between the two pieces as that flex. It should help hold that bed liner. Same thing on the front. This just didn't fit very good up here. This was off, but I think from here you can't even really see it. So and that thing's gonna be sitting down here on this truck. So I think that's gonna be good. I think I'll be pretty stoked with that. I think it looks a little bit better. The corners definitely look better. I usually peel these, but since I'm not trying to peel off a line to where I've rolled over paint like we do on like the Bronco stuff, the truck beds, I think I'm just gonna let that sit. Plus it freaking stinks in here, so I'm gonna crack the door. It's cold outside, so I'm kind of in between running the heater and letting it cool off. Or running the heater or opening the door and let it cool off. I'm just trying to get some fresh air. It stinks. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll the truck in and then let's kind of warm it up in here. But I'm gonna go hide in my office because it stinks. So I'll see you guys tomorrow when we put these bumpers back on. There, and then all along the sides over here, it's got a really nice gap all the way around. And we ended up adding 1.5 inches here, just kind of tried to follow the actual wheel well arc just a little bit right in there, and then we kind of left this circled, have a little bit of an arc to it, and then it went straight right there. But that's kind of the idea on that. So the only thing that I do think is kind of goofy is this little insert thing. It's very flimsy, but other than that, it's actually a pretty nice little bumper. I wouldn't go mounting a winch to it, or really rock crawling, or bashing on it really hard. The back tow hook where the D-shackle goes, I probably wouldn't put very much faith in that. Go ahead and use the receiver. But for just looks and durability over the stock bumper, I'll say looks pretty good, especially for the price. I think they're like right around $450 to $500. So other than the issue back there I seen, or the issue on the wheel well that we fixed, even the back looks pretty nice. It does kind of fit in here. We end up taking, there's a bracket in there, we kind of just bent it a little bit, which pulled that in. But all in all, there's the rear bumper. A goofy shadow in it, because the bed's rounded here and they use this flat, so it could be just a little bit wider. But all in all, like I say, for the price, I've seen a hell of a lot worse, on a lot nicer, on a lot worse rigs. So I'm gonna give those hook bumpers about a B, maybe B plus for looks, durability, easy installation. I think easy installation I'd give it an A, but all in all, pretty good bumpers. So if you're looking for one of those, if you're kind of questioning one of those hook bumpers for your first gen, I guess that would be the second gen Tacoma Tundra, second gen Tundra. If you're just cruising around more like he does, take it out, just kind of weekend warrior, pulls his RV around, maybe cruises some gravel roads from time to time, but don't really plan on getting stuck. So I think that's what he's got the receiver down there for. He's going to throw a winch on like one of those receiver on a plate that you just stick into the receiver and just run, Anderson plug up to the battery or something along those lines one of these days. But all in all, I give that a good. So I'm going to kill the video here. He's coming to get his truck here in a little bit, and probably take outside to get a couple pictures of it. And yeah, if you like this type of stuff, give me a like, a subscribe, comment below. And like always, get out there, create something today, even if it sucks. Peace.
I'll take a Facebook